Hi. The story of Mavuno is such an amazing story. It's a God story, and I'm so glad you're part of this God story. I kind of grew up in a Christian home, then left the faith, and then came back to the faith at Nairobi Chapel. So this for me was such an ignition. I loved being there. But the one thing I noticed, even while I served there, is many of my friends, especially my non-Christian friends, didn't like church. My wife, Carol, helped me begin to process that. She's the one who helped me begin to see that the church is such a different culture from where people are coming from, and that the problem is not the gospel, the problem is a church culture. I remember at that point really having a desire to start this church for people who didn't find church relevant, didn't find the Bible relevant, and yet they really needed it. I mean, I could tell they needed to know the purpose that the gospel brought. And so I remember praying and asking God, give me a team, give me people I could start with, I could work with. And miraculously, God brought an amazing team of people together.
I was part of the dream team when Mavuno started. We were a staff team of about 6 people. So it was myself, Barry Rodriguez from Grace Church, and then we had Pastor M, Kanji, Pastor Simon, and Edith Mongai, who was an associate at the time, and Pastor Linda. So we used to meet and have tea together, sit at a small table and have a good time. We dreamt, we envisioned about where Mavuno is going. So what happened is we used to have meetings a lot about dreaming. A lot of our staff meetings were about conversations around, who do we want to be, what do we want the church to be, defining who we want to be.
How I became part of Mavuno was, I remember we had just begun a church plant with Nairobi Chapel then. So I was part of the church planters, and we started a church around Gumo, and it was going well. I think it was 2 years into it that the plan to multiply Nairobi Chapel into 4 different churches came up, and I did not think I was going to be part of it, but one of the days as I was praying, I was actually out of town, and I was just praying about our ministry, and I felt very clearly God was asking me to join up with the team going to Mombasa Road, eventually Mavuno. So I prayed about it, and later I called Pastor Moredi, Pastor M, and I told him what I was feeling. And it was interesting because when I called him, he said, you wouldn't believe that I was just about to call you, because God has also been speaking to me that we should join up together and work together.
Our first service at the Mombasa Road, on Mombasa Road, it was in a place called South Sea Sports Club. We really wanted to do things that would help reach the people who didn't come to church. So we actually began to, we did a lot of research, asking questions. In that season, we began to define our mission, turning ordinary people into fearless influencers of society. And again, even that just was a process. We didn't start with that. We didn't even know exactly how it was going to work out. But in the process, as we walked this journey, we began to realize, yes, as these people are coming to church, because finally they found a church that was speaking their language. But how do you move them from just being in the place where they're consuming from church to the place where they become fearless influencers who want to change the world? And so we began this process called the transformation loop to help people walk this journey. I think one of the things I want to say is, as I look back at the last 15 years, only God. It is clear that only God could have done those things. Currently, Mavuno Church exists in up to almost 30 locations in 10 different nations across the world. And in all those places, it's exciting to see ordinary people turning into becoming fearless influencers of society. And as I think about the next 15 years, I'm excited because one of the things that God is saying in this season is, we've been a great church, but now we're going to become a movement that changes the world.